Hello everyone, it's Miss Darling in the studio, and today I'm going to try something I have not done before, and I don't know if it'll be a success or a failure, but we'll find out soon enough. Now, I'm not saying that other people have not already done this, just that I haven't, and so we'll see where we go. I'm going to put some gloves on, just because I don't know what kind of staining I'm going to get that might not be the best for my hands. And also because my hands look better, don't you think? Had them old hands. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is, of course, not anything that's new. This is a sprayer, and I've got some coffee dye in here, and I'm just going to spray it down on this cheesecloth and see what happens. It looks pretty cool, and it has gone through to the other side. And I'm going to spray it just a little bit more. Okay, great. Now I don't have another sprayer available to me, so I'm just going to have to do some dipping on this one. And in this jar, I have saved up pickled beet juice. And I'm working with, just started working on a journal for myself and my sister, and I'm going to have some pink tones in there. So I thought, okay, now's the time to kind of try dipping in this cheesecloth. Ooh, look at that. And see what comes out. Obviously, it's darker and brighter until you squeeze it, and it will, I'm sure, dry lighter than this, but this could work. So I'm experimenting first on cheesecloth before I commit to some of my cotton fabric. And, well, I think that's pretty cool. Looks a little orangey in places, but predominantly a pinkish tone, I think. What do you think? All right, I'm going to pull out some of my cotton fabric. That kind of brings up an idea. I wonder what would happen if I dip some of this off-white jute in there. Probably better cut off some. And I'm just going to dip that in there. Ooh. It took to that quite nicely. I don't need to spray some of my off-white with the coffee dyed because I already have something in that color that I bought that way. Okay, I'm going to find some pieces in here that are white, and what I'm going to do, I think, is to tie this off. Maybe put a rubber band around one section and see if I get a little bit of a tie-dye effect. And I'll do it to one of these side pieces. Now, I don't, I just look for varied textures, varied colorways, so I don't care if it gets splashed around. So on this one, I'm just going to dip the whole side in and not put a rubber band on one end. All right. Cool. Let me see if I have any lace pieces. I want to experiment a little on some lace. Where shall I take it from? I'm sure this will take the color quite well. And I don't know if it gets darker the longer it sits in there. I believe it does in coffee. I may try that off camera and just stick some in there for a longer period of time and then see how that turns out. But for now, I've got some rather nice, I guess it's looking more coral than pink. So it may depend on the fabric as to which direction it might want to go. Or maybe this was in a little longer. I don't know. Well, I'll have to dry this and see what happens, and I'll be back. Okay, I dyed a few more little pieces, sprayed these things in a little bit of lace and a few other pieces, so I'm going to dry this real quick. some nice pointillism when you use the spray bottle. Be a little careful, be real careful when you use the heat gun. I got a little too close and burned this section right here. It's real stiff now and is discolored. But, you know, I mean, I don't mind the discoloration, but just really be careful when you use a heat gun. Make sure your fingers are out of the way. I should wait until the whole thing is dry before removing these rubber bands, but I'm doing this for purpose of the video, and so I'm just going to take them off now. It's partially dry, and let's see what we got. So there is a bit of a tie-dye effect there. Okay, you can see some tie-dye effect. By the way, this piece is just a torn section from an old white nightgown that I had, and I retired it and tore it up into pieces, and this is just one of them. And so you can see when the fabric's folded or when it's banded together, you get different striations, and I would still have some white showing if I had waited until it fully dried on its own before removing, you know, the rubber bands. But I didn't have the patience for that. But I like what I got anyway. But you can see that I actually burned it in two different places, right here and right here. So be sure you don't get too close, and it's a good idea to move your heat source around as you go, and make sure that your other hand is always away from the heat as you're doing, especially if you're doing multiple pieces like I just did. So be very careful, and but enjoy the process. And so I've got some nice coffee dyed pieces to work with, and quite a few little pink things that I will incorporate into the journal I'm working on. So be sure and stay tuned and come back and watch the process and see what I do with all this good stuff. Thanks for being with me. I enjoyed having you. Please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit the notification bell. And don't forget to check my Etsy shop for resources. And I'll see you next time. This is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.